Hello everyone and welcome back to another week of ballet. I hope everyone is keeping well. Today we're going to be working the lower body with some strengthening exercises. So you'll need a bar or chair or something you can use as a little bit of support for that. And let's get going. So we're going to start either side on or you can face your bars for this, it is totally up to you. We're just going to work those feet, get them nice and warm, working those ankles as well, and just starting to work those leg muscles and get them warmed up too. So feet in first position, just take a little breath here. As we're breathing in, start to draw those tummy muscles up, start to get a little bit of lift in the upper body as well and lengthen through the spine to the back of the neck. You can work those shoulders as well, so either on the bars or just taking them off for now. Rolling round, starting to wake up the chest. Good. And then just let the head roll round nice and slowly. Not too big here, we're just sort of working out the kinks. Getting a little bit of movement in. Nice, good. And then start to bend those knees. Start to loosen out those ankles as well. Alright, so nice and soft in the tops of those knees. Good. And take a few little rises here as well through the feet. Take a little plie and a rise. Good. So we're just waking up those muscles, starting to give the inner thigh muscles slight squeeze as we stretch up. Good, just working all of those legs there. Good, and give those legs a little shake out as well. We're going to take a quick roll down in parallel, so feet hip width apart. Okay, weight in the centre of the feet, tucking that pelvis in, keeping the neck nice and long. We're going to tuck that chin under and top of the head leads us all the way down. Let the arms hang, let the weight of the head pull you down. Feel that stretch at the backs of those legs. And then when you're ready, just slightly bend those knees and roll yourselves up to standing. Good, and when you're there, take a little shoulder roll or a little twist if you want to, or a little rise, just to come out of it. Let's take one more, slightly quicker this time, picking up the speed, dropping down. Good, and this time if you want to, take a little sway side to side. Good, and then when we're centered, relax those knees and roll all the way up to standing. Nice. We're going to take a little foot warm up here. So feet in parallel to start off with, then we're going to do the same in first. So we're just going to take a little plie with the knees, bending over the tops of those toes as well, so we're not knocking those knees together or rolling in those ankles, going out to the side. Keep them nice and forward in parallel as well. And then we're going to stretch up. Alright, so we've got a little knee bend and stretch. This time we're going to take a knee bend, lift one heel off, place it down, other heel off, down and lift. And again, one, peel the heels off, lower, lower and stretch. Good. This time both heels off at the same time. Lift them up, lower down and stretch. And again, lower, lift, heels in and stretch. Good. We're going to take a little bend demi-plie again. This time we're going to keep that heel lifted, then we're going to rise up out of it, lift the other heel, lower, bend those knees, lower and stretch. So we're just transferring the weight through the feet down. So try and keep the feet nice and supple, nice and smooth, just melt all the way through it. Start to single out the areas of those feet as well. So pushing right over the tops of those toes, pushing those arches, and the other side. Nice. Last time. Good. And now turning out those legs into first position. So remember, pulling up through those legs as well into the pelvis as we try and tuck it underneath us, so that tailbone is pointing down, weight in the center. Okay, knees pulled in, and then again this time as we bend, making sure the knees are pushing out over the feet. So wherever your turnout is in your hips should be mirrored in your feet. And again, reaching up and lower. This time take a little lift each side. Good. Keeping the weight in the middle, so don't let those hips rock. Good. And this time let's lift both heels off the floor, pushing right over those toes. Lower and stretch. Good. Let's take that transfer. So down, peel off, stretch, over the top and lower. Good. So take it nice and steady at your own speed. If you want to do this without the bar as well, engaging your tummy muscles a little bit more to help you balance, that is fine. Good. Last time, transferring over the top. And come up. Give those legs a little shake. Okay, we're going to face the bars this time. So I'm going to just do it slightly on the side so you can see what's going on, but feel free to face me or face the side, it's totally up to you. We're going to take some demi-pliés and full pliés in first position, then we're going to work in second as well, so really working on those thigh muscles. So fingertips placed on the bar, make sure there's a good distance between you and whatever you're using as a support. Keeping those shoulders nice and relaxed, try not to let them creep up and carry lots of tension here. Try and keep nice and relaxed in the upper body, but still maintaining that core strength in our center. So pulling up as well, engaging those muscles in the inner thighs and our glutes. Let's just take some nice demi-pliés and stretch. Again, you can take this at your own speed, nice and steady. Keep breathing throughout and really feel that push and squeeze as we draw up. Good. So now hopefully our ankles are a little bit warmer, so we can really test that range of motion here with our plie. Good. Making sure the knees are pushing over the toes. Good. Lovely. Let's take one more demi, and now let's take it all the way down into our full plie. So nice and slowly to start off with, lowering down, peel the heels off, push the knees out and lower. Then heels back into the floor and stretch up. Good. And again, lower. Good. Remember, fingertips on your bar as well. Don't grab on. Okay, your weight should be underneath you, not forwards. Last time, down we go. Pushing over the top. Heels in and stretch. Lovely. Take a little rise here. Lifting those arches, pushing right over those big toes. Float the hands forwards and away and lower. Good. Opening into second position then, everybody. Okay, so nice and wide if you can here. So if you are using a chair, I always sort of aim roughly for heels to be in line with the backs of the chairs. That's just something that works for me. You might find your own pace or own system, I suppose, to measure that. So whatever feels nice and wide for you. If you want to start off fairly narrow, then you can start to increase the width a little bit more as we get a little bit more supple in those hips. So starting off again with those demi-pliés. So find that lovely alignment. Keeping those core muscles engaged, relaxing and opening the upper body, and demi-plie, pushing those knees out and back over the toes and stretch. And same thing, even though our legs aren't together, we're still working on drawing those inner thigh muscles up, squeezing those glutes as well. Good, so nice and steady. Lovely demi-pliés. So take note of how far down we're going, because in a minute we're going to double that with our full pliés. Good. Keeping the weight in the centre, making sure those hips are nice and in line. Good. Nice. Last time. Let's take it into our full plie. Now remember, this time we leave the heels planted in the floor, okay? We're just pushing down a little bit further, dropping that tailbone down and really trying to widen those hips and our knees. Down we go. Full plie. Good. And coming up. Squeeze. And again, draw it down. Couple more here. Really test that range of motion. Good work, nice. And if you want to take a little rise here, lower the heels, give those legs a little shake out and come back to first position. So we're going to do those full pliés and demi-pliés again. This time we're going to do a little hold as well. Okay, so it's about finding that strength in those legs. So let's take some demi-pliés once more. Remember, pulling up, lengthening through that upper body. Good. And last time, let's take it into our full plie. Down we go. Peel the heels away. Little hold, pull it up. Nice, and again down. Small hold. Remember, we're not sitting in it here, we're keeping the strength in those thighs. Good. Same thing in second position then, opening it all out nice and wide. And plie, just a demi. Good. Now on these demis, I want you to try and get a little bit lower each time. So we're working down more towards our full pliés. So wherever you think you can go, try and push a little bit further. Good, each time. Nice. So gradually deepening that plie. Nice. Keeping the upper body lifted. And this time we're going to add our hold. So down, little hold, coming up. And you don't have to hold it there for very long, just a slight pause. And then come out of it, okay? If you want to, you can start to hold it for a little bit longer, okay, just to really work those thigh muscles. And again, lower, little pause, and up. Nice, don't let those knees lock. Hold it here, strong. Good. Right, last one, see if you can hold it for a little bit longer. Good. And give those legs a good little shake out. Nice work. Alright everyone, so now we're going to work on some battement tendus, okay? So pushing through the legs, making sure the strength is there that we've just been working on as well. So keep everything nice and pulled in, even if those muscles are a little bit tired after the pliés. Keep everything nice and strong and drawn in. If you start to let one area go, that will make the other areas work harder. Okay, so if we try and maintain everything and keep that strength all the way through, then things are a lot easier to practice. So you can use your arm with this one as well, holding it out to the side, or you can place it on your hip if it's a little bit more comfortable, placing one hand on the bar as well. We're going to do this each side, so it doesn't matter which side you do first. I'm going to work my right leg and right side, and then I'm going to switch to my left. So we're going to take some battement tendus just on the floor, we're sliding the foot away, keeping the turnout, drawing it back. Side, draw it in, back, in, little demi-plie, just to ease those knees because we're pulling up nice and tall. So it's just a nice little breather for the knees there. With the arm if you want to, and forwards, and side, and back, demi-plie, and again. Nice, and we're working through to those toes as well. So we're keeping a lovely straight line from the hips down to the toes, keeping the turn out there as well. So the knee shouldn't be twisting in or out in any of those directions. So you can always stop and pause, have a little look to see where it is. If you've got a mirror handy to help you address that, that is lovely. Last time, bringing it forwards, side, back, and demi-plie. Good, just give those legs a little shake. Nice, this time we're going to do a little lower with the heel. So we're working on keeping those hips square and keeping that turn out. So as we send it forwards, we're going to lower the heel, place the weight in the center. Okay, now imagine, I've said this before in class, imagine that our hips are headlights, okay, and we don't want those headlights to veer off in any other direction other than forwards, okay, so you can place your hands on those hip bones if you want to, if that helps, okay, but remember you have got your bar there for support. Then we're going to lift back up, transfer the weight over that supporting leg, and then close. Same thing to second, extend, hips square, in the center, lift, and close. So when we go to the side, we don't want to lift one headlight higher than the other. Okay, we're going to keep it nice and in. So we have to rotate the leg and those hip joints as well. Sending it back, weight in the center, and then lift and lower. Take a demi-plie. And again, at your own speed, guys, off you go. Pointing and lower. Check your alignment. Good. Nice. Lovely. Last time, wherever you are, once more through that little sequence. Hardest one is going backwards, so you might find that similar as well. When you finish there, give those legs a little shake out, and we're going to do a bit of a lift with those legs as well. We're really working those hip flexors today. So we're going to back entendu forwards, then we're going to take a little lift in the air. Lift, lower, and close. So point it out to the side first, then use those hip flexors, use those leg muscles to lift the leg up, lower, same thing to the back. Little lift. Good. And take a demi-plie. Nice. And again in your own time. Point, lift, point, and close. Nice. Using your bar to help you, but don't lean on it. It's just there for a little bit extra support. Good. Alright, last time, this time see if you can get it a little bit higher, okay, but don't let your technique fall apart, keep everything nice and held, and lift. Use those abdominals as well to help you, okay, use those obliques, squeezing here in your core, that will really help lift the leg, okay, without everything else collapsing. Take a demi-plie. Nice, give those legs a little shake out. Now before we do the same on the other leg, we're going to just take a couple of ronde jambs. So we're going to practice first a tear on the floor, and then we're going to do some lifted in the air, okay, really opening out that hip. So pointing forwards like we've just done. This time instead of closing, we're going to hit all of those points that we've just done with our back entendus, but we're going to circle the leg. So we're taking it around, keeping those hips square, and drawing it back through first, back forwards. Round it goes, and through, and around. Good. Keeping pulled up, especially in that left side, or whichever side's closest to the bar. Round it goes. Lovely. So rotating in those hips, so the hips aren't moving, you're not lifting here. Alright, you're keeping everything nice and controlled. Good. Now if you want to, you can keep those rond de jambes on the floor to practice, or you can take them on l'air, okay, up in the air. So slightly lifted off the floor, wherever's comfortable for you. This time we only go out to the side, we bend at the knee, bring it into that lovely retire position, send it forwards, nice and turned out, and around. So have a little practice here. It's almost like you're stirring the pot with your feet. Lifted up in that left side. Good. If you need to lower the leg and then lift it back up again, that's fine. Or you can stay circling on the floor. Good. And lower here. Nice. Give those legs a good little shake out, and let's swap round and work on the other side. Same thing on the left then. Let's start off with those back tendus. So bringing it forwards, testing that turn out, making sure we've got those legs placed in the right place. Good. Using the arm if you want to. Okay, don't worry too much about what it needs to do. It's just there as an extra support. I always find that if I use my arm, my upper body doesn't sort of relax and fall asleep. It's good to keep everything engaged. Lifting. Good. All the way down to those toes. Let's have some lovely pointed feet. Good. Last time. Take your time with it. You can do it quicker. You can do it slower. It is up to you. Nice, well done. If you need to, just give those legs a little shake out as well. Nice. Now let's do those lowers. So we're going to point forwards as before, lower the heel, keeping the weight centered, watching out for those hips, making sure they're not rotating or lifting, and lift, close in first. Same thing to second, out, lower down, lift, back in, and to the back. Alright, especially at the back, just make sure that outer hip isn't swinging away. It's very easy for that to happen. And again. Good. So again, keeping those abdominals drawn in, nice and engaged. Keeping the strength through those legs. Lovely. And don't forget to point those feet as well. Just because we're thinking about our hips doesn't mean we can forget about those feet. Nice. Good. Last time in your own speed. Forward, side and back. You may have done just a few of these, you may have done quite a lot. That is fine. Just making sure that technique is correct. Good. Nice work, guys. Nice. So this time we've got those lifts, okay? So we're going to send it forward, find that turn out, keeping the knee where it is, out to the side, lifting up, using those leg muscles, using those abdominals, and then draw it back in to the center. Don't let this opposite side get relaxed. Use it to help you. It's your supporting leg. That's what it needs to do. It needs to support. And out to the side. Lift, lower, and down. So as we're lifting, we're using different parts of the leg, and different parts of our abdominals each time. So think about using those front abdominals here, think about using those obliques here and those hips, and think about using those glutes and the lower back muscles. There, good. Nice, and make sure each time we're lowering with control, don't just let it fall back down to the floor. Okay, just getting it up is one thing, we need to lower down nice and steady as well. Good. Last time at your own pace. Good. I've got my hand on my hip, it's a good place to keep it if you want to check those hips and making sure they're not twisting, just like we did with our lowered heel exercise. And take a little demi-plie, shake it out, and then let's move on to our rond de jambe. So again, pointing forwards, this time we're going to hit all of those points, but with a circular motion with that leg. So drawing it round and through. Around. Nice. And if you want to use the arm, you can always do the arm with it. It's up to you. Starting to work those shoulder muscles, or you can leave it out to the side. Good. Making sure those hips aren't twisting. Don't let yourself be pulled back through. Keep everything square. Nice. Last time here. Good. And now let's try it lifted. If you want to, you can keep it on the floor if it's more comfortable. Remember, if we're lifting it, we're bending out at the side, drawing it through and stirring that leg. Keeping the knee out to the side. Good. So when we bend at the knee, our knee should be pointing away. If we've let that knee come in, it starts to creep in a little bit and we can tell. Okay, so make sure it's opening out the whole time. Each time you open it out to the side, maybe try and get a little bit further, but don't let yourself get pulled back with it. Just test that range of motion. It may only be just slightly here, it may be quite narrow. That is fine. Every time just try and test yourself by pushing a little bit further, seeing how far you can go. Good. And when you're ready, lower it down. Give those legs a little shake and a little swing as well. We work those hips nicely. Let's give them a little treat and a swing just to loosen any tension there may be. And shake it all out. Nice work. Facing your bars again, this time for some rises, okay? So feet in first, pulling up nice and tall. If you want to do this at the side, you can. All right, I've just got both hands here just to help with the balance. All right, sometimes if we're at the side, it's very easy to slightly slide over to one side than the other, and we don't want the weight to be different in the feet, okay? Pulling up nice and tall. Okay, we're going to send the strength all the way up, backs of those legs and lift. Okay, use those abdominals. Don't let yourself collapse here. Don't let those legs do all the hard work. Fingertips placed on the bar. All right, we're not sending the weight forwards. We're keeping everything lifted and underneath us. Okay, think about where your weight is in your feet. So as we lift up, we peel off those heels, pushing over the big toes. You should be able to lift your fingertips off the bar and lower. We're just going to do a few of those at the same time. Each time in between you can keep your hands on the bar, then lift them off and lower, or you can just keep this motion going with the arms open, lower back down to our bar, lift and lower. Alright, so whatever's easier for you, and remember you can do this a little bit slower if you need to. Really think about what's happening, where the strength is coming from, and not letting those abdominals collapse, keeping it nice and steady. And we are using those arms as well, so we're engaging those back muscles slightly and those shoulder muscles. Good. Couple more here. And last one, wherever you are, lower down. And just take a little demi-plie, ease at the backs of those legs. All right, we were going nice and slowly then. We're going to pick up the pace a little bit more. So we're going to rise up and hold. We're going to lift one arm off the bar, taking it all the way up, rounding those arms, keeping the shoulder down and lower. And we're just going to lift up. So we've got those arms up to help us lift. Okay, feeling nice and light on those heels. We're not letting them drop down. We're peeling back through the feet. You might start to feel a little bit of a burn at the backs of those legs. If you need to take a break and take a little demi-plie, that is fine. And we'll just take 2 more here. Last one. Lower the arm and just take a little bend. Good work. Nice. This time, other arm lifts. Okay. You can also do this with both arms off if you prefer. That is fine. But I'm keeping one arm down just as an extra little bit of support today. And lifting. Good. So think about lowering those heels with a bit of resistance so they don't slam back down into the ground. Good. If it is starting to get a little bit achy, think about focusing your attention maybe on your abdominals or your arms, and think about keeping the strength there. Okay, not thinking about how much those legs might be aching or hurting. But of course, if you do need a little break, please have a little pause. And last one, up and down and lower. Good. Give those legs a good shake out. We'll give them a nice big stretch at the end as well. If you want to, just bend in those knees, maybe working through the feet as well. Sometimes you can get a little bit of cramping happening through those arches. So keep working the feet, don't let them seize up. Nice. Finding that second position now, okay? We're going to take some instep pliés. So we're going to take a demi-plie here in second. Pushing those knees out. They might be feeling nice and tired by now, which is fine. All right, just take it nice and easy. We're going to lift one heel off the floor. We're going to pulse here. Pulse. Keeping the weight in the center of that plie. Other heel is on the floor. Little pulses. Good. And then we're going to lift up. Place that heel down, other heel lift, keeping those pulses going. So constantly moving up and down through that demi-plie. Don't lock the knees. Keep them pushing back and out. And change. We're going to do 8 on each side. So whichever speed you're doing is fine. Once you've done 8 on one side, keep pulsing, lift the other heel, 8 on the other. Ready? And off we go. Good. And when you finish those 8, just lower both heels, drop down in that second position, and then come up nice and slowly. There maybe there'll be a little bit of a shake there, which is fine. It just means you've worked those legs. Give those hips a little circle round. Good. Nice. And take a little step away from your bars now, okay? Keeping the heels down, pushing away from you into the floor. Hips lifted as we just take a little stretch forward. Take it a little bit further out if you need to, just to increase that stretch. And again, if you want to make it a little bit of a deeper stretch, bring your hands off your bars and just lower all the way down. Sliding one foot forward, so both feet should be facing our bars, heels on the floor. Don't let those heels creep up or twist out, keeping those hips square. We're going to reach for those bars and take a lunge forward, keeping that back leg nice and straight, giving that stretch all the way down the calf. Now we're going to lift the heel, take it back a little bit further. So you can make this a nice deep lunge here if you want to. We're just going to stretch out that hip flexor. If you want to, you can take it all the way down to the floor. Or you can just stay here on your bars. Good. And then when you're ready, just slide it in. And this time the other leg's going to go back, keeping the heels both on the floor, hips nice and square, feet facing your bars, and lunge it forwards. Stretch out that calf. Good. And then lift the heel away. Take that foot back a little bit further. It's totally up to you how far you go here. Again, you can go all the way down to the floor and make this a really deep stretch. Just find what works for you. Good. And then bringing it in. Using your chairs as a little bit of support. We're just going to bring the knees together. Foot that's lifted, give a little bit of resistance with the hand just to increase the stretch down the front of that thigh. And then when you're ready, just release that leg, give it a shake, and the other side. Good, nice stretch. Good, and shake it out. Nice, just take a little step away from your bars. We're going to do a little side lunge just to give another stretch to that inner thigh. Good. Both sides, feel the stretch. Each time we change sides, maybe get a little bit deeper. Good. And then back in the centre. Bring both of those feet facing forwards and just relax over the top here. And if you want to, you can take a little figure of 8 with those arms. Just circling and looping round. And then back to centre. Yourselves up to standing. Good. Walk those feet in. Give yourself a little shake out, rolling those shoulders, working the head, just looking around. If you've got any tension here in the upper body or the neck, it's good just to really work it all out so we're nice and relaxed. And let those hips circle round as well. Take one more breath in for me, reaching up, looking up at those hands. And on our out breath, we're going to just let those arms swing down. Good, a little bounce. And a stretch. Nice work, everyone. Give yourselves a round of applause. Good work, everybody. everybody. I hope that's felt like a nice workout for that lower body. I know my legs are definitely feeling it. If you feel a little bit achy later on, or if you need to have a nice stretch when you wake up first thing, if you're a little bit sore, please do. Just nice gentle stretches, don't overdo it, or if you've had a nice hot shower, it's a really lovely time to stretch when your muscles are nice and warm, so stop them from getting seized up at all. Next week we are going to be looking at some more technique exercises, so I'm looking forward to that one. Thank you to everybody that has continued with the contributions towards the classes. I will put the link, so if you'd like to donate anything towards today's class, then you can do so by following that link below. Hope you're all keeping well and staying safe, and I will speak to you and see you all very, very soon.